As my beautiful teachers used to say growing up, I have all day. Aloha, everyone. I'm always glad to see such energy going on in the room, right? It's important. Hello, Jill. Yes. Just taking a moment to land here and look at all of your beautiful, beautiful faces. Yeah. I see some new faces as well. I see some faces that are back. I haven't seen them in a while. There you go. And that's because a lot of off-island, we're a global community. And I've really been thinking this week what that means to be a global community. We have really put that into our spirit, that we are just this community that just doesn't stay on this island. We have this live streaming that connects us, and we have people that now come to the island and say, you know, with all the fun I'm going to have on this island, we're going to stop by our home and say hello. So that's very important. For those of you who don't know this man that just keeps talking and talking, my name is Reverend Patrick. And over here is the beautiful Reverend Rita. And we have these two wonderful foxes over here. That's Michael and Carrie. I never get tired of saying that, by the way. I never get tired of saying that. And if you're wondering if there's a little makeup still left on me, that we've had quite a week here at CSL Kauai. Everything from beautiful classes, everything to healing circle on Wednesday, which was wonderful. Rocky Horror Picture Show on Friday, diving into the spiritual message of that. And then we had yesterday a wonderful community cleanup at Lidgate, which a lot of us participated in. Now today we celebrate us together as community. So next, speaking of community and more things going on, did the choir not show up today? I was just curious. Wow, that was it was like, and hello, Thomas. So let us bring up the wonderful Michelle LeMay to do our announcements and to let us know what's going on. And she's a wonderful board member, board of trustees, and a practitioner in training, which in reality she already is a practitioner. So come on up, Michelle LeMay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As Patrick said, there's been lots going on, so thank you for everyone who's been coming and participating and supporting all the events. It's definitely the best way to participate in our life is when we show up for things. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, and we've got a lot to do that here. So starting with this week on Wednesday, Anna Myers, if you don't mind standing up and raising your hand, she does a spiritual living circle. Woo-woo-woo! On Wednesdays at 3 o'clock in Princeville. So I had her stand up because her information is not on the pamphlet like it usually is. So speak to her today after service if you're wanting to get her address and RSVP for it. And what they do is they get together and have a circle and they speak about the Science of Mind magazine, an article out of that. So it's just a way to commune together. So that's up in Princeville, 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And then on Thursday evening is the continuation of Essential Earnest Homes. There's only a couple more weeks left. So please come. Even if you haven't been coming, you can still come. It's based on a book by Ernest Holmes, and it's just a way to delve into the philosophy that he gleaned from a lot of mystics from before his time. And then we are starting to share about the Sacred Journey, which happens in January. So next year it's going to be January 13th through the 20th. And in the past, it's been mostly people from the mainland that have been coming here. And we are now opening it up to folks that are in our, right here on island. So what we do during that week are all different events, workshops. We go to sacred sites. People who are visitors can also come. So those of you who are watching on live stream, there's still time to book and to come. And there's still 5 spots. Okay, so there's still 5 spots left for that. And you can talk to any one of us who are on the committee or the reverends if you want to find out more information and how you could possibly participate. And then for the Sacred Journey, if you are a member with CSL, there's also a 10% off. And if you're not a member, or if you're not sure if you're a member or not, then you can see me. I am the membership coordinator. If you have questions, and what becoming a member really means is just actually making a commitment to your spiritual growth and your spiritual life. and then you're just choosing to do it with us. And for us, it helps because of we have to show our growth and how many people are loving us and wanting to continue helping us grow. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And then I'm going to touch upon 2 things that are happening in November, because November is just around the corner, amazingly enough. But on November 8th, which is Election Day, the center will be open from 7 to 7 for anybody who would like to come in silent meditation and for contemplation. So you can come before or after you vote. You can come throughout the day, but it is a silent meditation. It's not a debate place. It's just to come and hold space for the highest good of whatever is meant to happen in this election. So that's so the doors will be open and someone will be here the entire day. And throughout the day, you can come and, you can just come when you're feeling called to do that, if you feel called to do that. But we wanted to open up to have a space where we can come and hold consciousness for that very, very important day. So please join us for that. And then on the next day, on November 9th, the Reverends are going to be doing a brand new workshop called My Bold Design for Living. So this is something that is brand new that they're going to be unrolling and unveiling to us. And it's from 6 to 9. It's a 3-hour workshop. And there's a quote here by Napoleon Hill: "Whatever a mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." So really, what are you guys waiting for? If you have something that you want to create in your life, then this will be it will be a very powerful workshop to bring that forth and to help design your life. So it's to design your bold and daring life, and the cost also includes all the materials. So we'll divulge a little bit more as we get closer to pique your interest, but it's definitely going to be great. And that's again November 9th from 6 to 9. So you want to put those 2 dates on your calendars. Sound good? All right. Well, thank you so much for your attention. I'm actually going to do the meditation today, so I'm going to shift gears and take off my announcer hat and put on my meditation hat as you all start to settle into your seats, letting everything before this moment go, everything that has occurred this morning, all this wonderful energy, just let it settle as you get comfortable in your seats. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. You can leave them open if that feels comfortable. And I'll give you a seed thought to take in if you wish, from Robert Nellie Bella. Leaving home, in a sense, involves a kind of second birth in which we give birth to ourselves. Leaving home, in a sense, involves a kind of second birth in which we give birth to ourselves. Leaving home, in a sense, involves the second kind of birth in which we give birth to ourselves. As you come back into this room, into this space, into your bodies, knowing that home is right where you're coming to, and that home is where God is, where spirit is, where the universe resides, and that's right here within each and every one of us. Knowing that our time together is a divine appointment, that we are always home each and every moment. It's always right in us. And our time together helps us remember that. Our time together is special, and whatever needs to unfold, it will unfold absolutely perfectly. With so much gratitude in my heart for the time that we have together, for those that are gathered here, and for what we take away and bring into our lives, I release my word into a law that only says yes. It says yes for each and every one of us. As together we say, and so it is.
Aloha, everyone. We're going to light our peace candle as we do every Sunday. But before we do, could somebody lend me their program? Because it's for some reason not in my notes. Okay. I would like to read a prayer that was written by our Essential Ernest Holmes class. They sat down at the end of class and they wrote a prayer for peace. Because what we studied that night was Ernest Holmes said that the greatest enemies of the world were poverty, disease, and war. And he said the one answer to all of them was peace within. So with that, we wrote a poem, or they did. I did not write it at all. They said, there is only one power in the universe, the divine intelligence, which is peace, love, compassion, understanding. Collectively, we are all part of it. Peace is the heart of God. We declare we are that peace. Peace is real, here and now. In reality, there is only peace. We trust that this peace radiates from us to our ohana, community, leaders, all nations, and our world. Every system of life is governed by the power of this peace. We give thanks that this is a reality now, and we release this word into law, knowing it is already done. And so it
Nice.
Peace raining down, peace inside my soul, peace in our world starts with me. Peace inside my heart, peace inside my soul, peace in our world starts with me. Peace inside my heart, peace inside my soul, peace in our world starts with me. Peace inside my heart, peace inside my soul, peace in our world starts with me. Peace inside my heart, peace inside my soul, peace in our world starts with me.
And so it is. Thank you.
Yeah, there's some fans here too. If people are a little hot, we have it pretty much full blast. So whatever's going on with it, during the week we freeze, and on Sundays we half
I think
freeze.
it's just
and
because
half
the
not.
sun is coming in that window.
Exactly.
It just heats it up.
And I'm glad
Anyway.
the sun is coming in today, aren't you? Yes. Oh my goodness.
okay.
I just had this wonderful feeling when we were singing that. I thought, what if everyone right now in this entire planet took 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, just to hold their hearts and sing this? Just whatever they were doing just stopped, unless of course they were sleeping, and then I don't know what would go on, because I'm sure around the planet that is true. But can you imagine? It just would stop for a minute. Anyway, I digress.
And thank you,
In a
Michael
good
and
way.
Carrie, for writing that chant. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
So welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, and where we practice the science of mind and spirit, which is an ancient philosophy, a universal truth. Nobody owns truth, Ernest Holmes wrote. It's belongs to everyone. And all he did was take every truth that he could find and the common thread in it and bring it all together in one thing, which is God is all there is, love is all there is, and we are that. So we come here today to celebrate that within each and every one of us, and why by doing so we lift the planet, just like we did a moment ago. We lift the planet when we do things like that, and thank you for saying that, Patrick. Yeah, every day, whenever we think of it, just remember it's all in here. So thank you for coming and sharing your consciousness with us today. And
who is here for the very first time? Do not hide, because I know who you are. There we go. 1, 2, 3. We got it on. Hey, hi. Okay, well, what we do have a few notes about you that I'd like to share with the entire congregation here. I hope you do. Thank you, Allison, and thank you, everyone. Actually, we only have one thing to say to you. Why don't we say it, right? You are magnificent. And a sense of relief comes over his face. Yes, you are. Let's say it one more time. It feels so good. You are magnificent. And we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. Just like peace, we can never know peace until we have it within ourselves. It's impossible. We can never know magnificence until we know it in ourselves first. So shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. And did you know that, just I'm going to change things up a bit, there are people that peek in every Sunday to us while we're here, and it's live streaming back there with Rob and Jonathan. So I think we should turn around to them and let them know that they are magnificent and that we know they're watching. Ready? You are magnificent. And we know you're watching. What happens in Kauai no longer stays in Kauai.
Anyway, turn to someone next to you and let them know how you feel about them.
Yeah, let them know how magnificent. You are magnificent. You are.
I am.
You are magnificent.
You are.
Harry's magnificent. How are you, my brother? Good to see you.
You look so pretty.
Thank you.
Harry, you're magnificent.
Wow.
All righty.
Yay.
All right, let's wrap the magnificence and let's never wrap it up, but always let it go. There we go. I know it's nice to, like, you turn around and you go, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever, and well, you're going, where are we going for lunch, and all that kind of stuff. That's what you use this time for, I know. All righty, so shall we?
We're ready for our opening
I think
song.
we should get on our feet and I think we're ready. Are you ready?
Another Michael
Are you ready?
Perry
Is Louis
original.
ready? Are you, Michael ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
To open my heart, to open my heart, to open my heart, to open my heart. I am ready, I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to open my heart, to open my heart.
Oh, you going to sing again? It's time to pray, brother. So what I know is that there is more than a time warp going on here. There is something that I'm ready to say, and that is each and every one of us are here on divine purpose. Right here, right now, on divine purpose. Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I hear it? Can I hear it? Say yes. Say yes. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I know we're ready to celebrate love. Celebrate love. Let us start from our toes and go all the way out into this planet. We have come here today to celebrate our greatness, our magnificence, our absolute love of who and what we are. Is that true? I say yes. Do you say yes? So let's have some gratitude for each and every one of us. We are in that divine gas station. And as my dear friend Ruth said, we are here to what? We are here to refill and fill up. And that's what we're here to do. And we take it out into the world. So I say we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. Go on, Carrie, take it home. And so it is.
I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to open my heart, to open my heart, to open my heart, to open my heart. Peace lives inside me now. No more living in fear. When I reach my hand to touch the earth, I remember why I'm here. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to open my heart, to open my heart,
Open up.
to open my heart, to open my heart.
It's just a stump to the left
It was just a jump to the left, my
and a
friend.
step to the right.
And with me, Michelle.
Actually, he's a very good dancer. It's all in the hips. He does a very good job. Yeah, you do. All right. You can take that any way you want, okay. After this week, I let it all go. All right. Yeah, it's been quite a week for Rita. It started with caging a feral cat and bringing it to be neutered, spayed. Woo! That was really fun. Yeah, no. Anyway, but I know it's our duty to do that. Some people don't agree with that, though. But anyway, I agree with it. So that's what we did. And what was really interesting was, and it comes to this idea of leaving home, which is what our talk is about, is that we released this cat not into the wild, but because we didn't follow the instructions or they were given to us in an interesting way, we released the cat into domestication, which was in our house. So, well, all hell broke loose. Needless to say, this poor little cat was like, where am I? And she was supposed to be sedated, but she wasn't. And she proceeded to just leap onto every piece of furniture, leaped 15 feet into the air onto the cupboard. And we were like freaking out so bad. So finally, we just found a way to get her out of the house. We just kept praying and treating and just opening the doors, and finally she did leave the house, and she was perfectly fine, which was really interesting because we were told to coddle her and protect her and not let her hurt her stitches and all this stuff, and in doing that we ended up anyway hurting her anyway, but she was fine, and really more fine when we let her go. So what I got from all this is that we're kind of like that in a way. We are domesticated, and what we really want is to be free. And so some of us had upbringings, as children we're told don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And then what do we do? Like at 18, I left home as quick as I could. I ran away from home and proceeded to live my own life. And I mean, it was a good thing in my case, But what I was seeking, what I realize now, is I was seeking freedom. I was seeking to go back to my true nature, which was freedom. So yeah, it's great. Our parents protect us. I love like that this cat that we had spayed is now becoming more docile, you know. I get to pet her. She's becoming more domesticated, and it really makes me wonder. I am domesticated, but I really want to be free. And I found out that cats, feral cats, actually were domesticated once, and then that's where they come from. That's their roots. But they still want to be free. We still want to be free. What does that mean? I mean, in some ways, our freedom sometimes can be hurtful toward ourselves, right? We do things that maybe aren't the wisest choices, but still, underneath it all, like Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was a great teacher and healer of the New Thought movement, said, we're always seeking our good. Even when it doesn't look so good, we're still reaching for it. We're still reaching for our good. And so we end up sometimes hitting our head against the wall several times before we reach that place within. So we showed the Rocky Horror Picture Show this weekend, and it was really it was an interesting thing. Patrick and I hadn't seen it in 20 years, and we watched it before we showed it, and we were like, wow, there's a spiritual message here somewhere. And there is, because everything's spiritual, right? But to me, the most important thing about that film, which I understand from when it came out in the 1975, the year my daughter was born, which is my first child, which is really interesting because that's one of her favorite things. She goes to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and apparently she's an expert in it. But I don't know if that's good or bad. It's not. But the thing about that film is the idea of freedom in it. And I think that's what attracted people so much to it, was that it was freedom, total sexual freedom, total freedom. And where people were feeling constrained, they could let go. And that's what the film to me was about. And what I find more interesting, though, is people's reaction to it and how they feel when they watch it, because they get that same thing, that I can be free. I understand why my teenage kids like that film, because here we were, constraining them and trying to make them go according to society's norms, which we should. As parents, we should train our children to relate in society and be good citizens and all that stuff, but there's still that part, right? So I get that for that film, and I get that it's the reaction to the film that's the most important part about it, to me, is how people reacted to it. And we had lots of reactions on Friday night, and some of them made us very uncomfortable. And I find that interesting too, and I wrote about it in my blog this morning, because sometimes we feel uncomfortable when people are doing things that aren't necessarily the way we think they should be done, or the way we were brought up, or the way we think society should be. And I'm going like, what's wrong or what's right? And I couldn't really come up with an answer. I really couldn't. I was just like, what's wrong and what's right? There really isn't. Ernest Holmes says you can do what you want should you hurt no man, as long as you hurt nobody, right? That you're free. We have our freedom. So what's hurting and what's not hurting? So it was something for me to really think about, and I'm still thinking about it. I don't have the answer yet, really, besides that I know that we're all reaching out to be free. And we say we left home. Yeah, we left home within. Sometimes every time we're pulled to the outside, to conditions and the relative world, we're leaving home. We're leaving that place within. And then we're always seeking to come back to it. But back to it is not constraint. Back to it is total and complete freedom. So the other thing we did this week is we had a healing circle. And there wasn't a lot of people there, but the ones that were there I know got a lot out of it. And we don't do things here for numbers. We do it because we feel driven to do it. Patrick and I were always like experimenting. The Rocky Horror Picture Show was an experiment. We thought, let's do it. Because in our philosophy, we don't have like morals that way where we say this is wrong and this is right. We say law of cause and effect. As you do it, it comes back to you one way or the other. And things did come back this week, so one way or the other. No, I was just kidding. Anyway, but so we had the healing circle, which was very powerful. And this is what we do in this philosophy. Every time we feel the pull away from home, because we believe, as Ernest Holmes said, that I said in the beginning, the three greatest things that, that man suffers from is war, disease, and poverty. The way to get back to home is to remember who we are. And that's what we do when we had that healing circle, what we do every day when we take your requests into our consciousness that you put in that box out there, and we have what we call spiritual mind treatment, that is just knowing that truth for you. And as we know it, the law makes it so. It's very powerful because we all live in one consciousness, one spirit. If the world really got that, and it's not, can you imagine what this world would look like if we really realized that everything we think, say, and do is in that one consciousness, that one spirit, and that we're all feeling it? That's why we're feeling a lot of the stuff we're feeling now about what's happening out there in the world, because we don't even have to look at it. Even if you don't watch the news and all that kind of stuff, you still feel it, because we're living in one mind and one consciousness. And our job as wonderful, amazing spiritual beings, because everybody in this room is a wonderful and amazing spiritual being, is to hold the consciousness of love and to bring ourselves back home, to not leave home, to go out there and agree or disagree or whatever, or fight or argue or any of that stuff, but to come back home and know the truth. And the truth is, this is really true, and it might not seem it to you, but everything is always unfolding perfectly to me, no matter what. That things might look bleak sometimes, but they're still unfolding perfectly, because everything is always bringing us home. And as soon, there's the chapter that we studied in the Essential Ernest Holmes was, the world has learned all it can through suffering. And he wrote that during World War II. So he was thinking that back then, or before World War II, when all that stuff was happening back then. So that's our job, is to remember, or at least I'm saying it's my job, to remember that going home is that going into that place within, nowhere else, just that place within, and remembering who we are. And when he said peace is the answer, he didn't mean peace out there. He meant if we could have more peaceful consciousness, more peaceful thoughts, more peaceful lives, that we would project that out into this one mind, this one spirit, this one life. So it's great because it's the thing we can do. Sometimes we think it's a big thing to like try to change the world. He even said people have tried to change the world and they can't do it. Who's done it? People have done it for a little bit, maybe change something, and then it all goes back. Because you can't change things out there. You can only change them within here. And there's another story that I just want to leave you with that he tells in that book, The Essential Ernest Holmes, and in another book, I think in, I can't remember the name of the book right now, this thing called Life. He had a friend who was an alcoholic, and the man wanted to leave his alcoholism behind. And he called Ernest Holmes in and said, please help me. And so Ernest Holmes called his friend in, Reginald Armour. He called one of his best friends in, who was also a practitioner. And he said, will you help me with this? And they both put the man in the room. He stayed in the room, and he gave him a bottle of whiskey and left him there. And they went into the other room, and they prayed. And they prayed, and they prayed, and they treated all night long. And they never stopped. They just kept praying and praying and treating and treating. And someone asked me, well, why did he have to do it so long? He's so, knowing, right? We think, oh, Ernest Holmes, he knew everything. He created this philosophy, blah, 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 blah. No, what happens is, oh, wow. He's saying, I thought it was my phone for a minute, because it sounds just like my phone. The reason it took him so long is because he had to change his own consciousness, because that's what it's about. And until he realized that his consciousness had been changed, he could feel it. So you might think you pray for things and they don't happen. It's not just about saying the words and praying for it or praying about it. It's about feeling that it's done. And that night, it took him all night to feel that it was done. And when he knew it was done, it was done. And when he went back in the room, the guy was done. He hadn't even, I think he took a sip out of the bottle and that was it, and he was done. He walked away into his freedom. So if you think that it's taking you too long to manifest something in your life, don't give up. Just keep going back, because what will happen is you will feel it if you keep going back and going back and going back, asking for treatments there, however you do it, pray your own way, whatever, and going back and remembering who you are. You will feel something that happens. I call it embodiment. When you just know. And it can take more than one time. So I just know that it starts within each of us. And everybody in this room, I know, has that capacity, because we're all equal. We're all created in the divine nature, and we all have this beautiful, amazing power and law that works through us and makes everything possible. It's unlimited. So I guess what I want to say today is just stay with it. Stay within, and then from there, go without. Namaste. Yeah. Yeah. Carrie and Michael will now be taking us away.
Thank you, Rita. We'll just let this song take us to the home within and to the God within ourselves.
When the dark wood fell before me, and all the paths were overgrown, when the priests of pride say there is no other way, I tilled the sorrows of stone. I did not believe because I could not see. Though you came to me in the night,
That was exactly what Rita was talking about, was it not? I love that line, lift the mortal veil of fear, if that's what I heard correctly. Lift the mortal veil of fear. Wow, wouldn't that just be a Sunday to remember? Yeah, and Monday, Tuesday, all the way through. Exactly. Oh, I was thinking many, many directions to go with this whole idea of leaving home. I think we're always leaving home, daily, moment to moment. Every time we decide not to think an old thought and move into a new one, we've left home in a sense. I wrote a little piece a long time ago called The Going Away Party. You remember that? Yeah. I'll bring it back someday for us all to read, but I took a little excerpt out of it, and it says, "Today I threw myself a going away party. The invitation was quite large, and all the guests showed up. Among them were shame, guilt, lack, limitation, and of course, fear was there. However, I kept a secret. I didn't tell anyone, including my small self, that this was a going away party for all of them." Wow. Even as I say it, I think to myself, am I ever going to go beyond the words that I just said? I know it sounds so absolutely wonderful. Going away party, right? And then I get involved with life again. And there it is. Guilt, shame, lack. They didn't say what I wanted them to say. All of that kind of stuff. And this isn't to make you feel more guilty than the party that we were having. This is just the whole idea that I'm at a point in my life, and I think you've watched us grow. I know that. We've been very transparent with everyone, even if you're here for the first time. This is who we are. This is who I am. And I'm growing and expanding and trying to leave home all the time, that home that no longer serves me. That abusive home, to be quite frank. That abusive home. I don't have to spend any time wondering what they did to me any longer, when I've done most of it to myself. And that's the great news. This isn't bad news as we're sitting there going, oh, wow, how does that feel? It feels great, because I also get to throw a coming home party. And get rid of that and bring in the stuff that serves me. Passion, love, peace. All of those wonderful things that we on a daily basis crave. I was thinking of this whole idea this week of community service. And what we create here at CSL Kauai, these ideas of opening it up for everyone to get a piece of something that will resonate, whether it be on a Sunday, whether it be a peace meditation, whether it be a healing, whether it be Rocky Horror. There's something for everyone. Everyone. And that's what I believe we try to do here. Yeah. A going away party. When I left home at 19, I left a home that I was positive was not the greatest time to leave, because I knew how much my mother, I haven't mentioned her in a while. By the way, if anybody knows me a long time, they know that Mom somehow gets in the conversation. And my mom was so great in this moment of going away, because she didn't want me to. And she kept saying, you got to go. You got to go to L.A. You got to go to L.A. and do what your dream is. Go, go, go. And I remember my dad, in one of his moments that he was actually alert, told me, he said, Patrick, did you know that when you left, your mother cried every Sunday but she never told you on the phone, because every time I called her to say, wow, it's a little tough here, Mom. Got any extra cash? Whenever I called to do that, she would say, and I remember this, and it really fits in with what Rita was talking about today. I said, Mom, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I can't find a job, blah, blah, blah. And she says, I tell you what, give it 2 more weeks. Just give it 2 more weeks and see what happens. Give yourself that freedom of 2 more weeks to manifest, except she didn't use the word manifest, to see what happens. And guess what? 2 weeks passed, and I gave myself that freedom to finally stop clinching on to the idea of I gotta make it here in Hollywood, and I let go, and I started to make it there in Hollywood, and never came back. Never came back to that home. So leaving home, some people never really leave home. I didn't really leave home until probably a couple of years ago, actually. I'm thinking back on it. Because there's always a part of us, and we give being at home a bad rap sometimes. I got a lot out of there, and a lot of it that serves me. We're not saying get rid of it and have this complete flushing out and just be these empty vessels. No, Spirit has a power that lives through in each one of us. But what it is saying in spiritual terms is let go of the crap, man. Let go of it. Let it go, and bring in the new. That's the whole idea. Everyone says, I've been having a lot this week. Yeah, but what happens when it doesn't show up? What happens when it, I've been treating, Patrick, like day in and day out. I've been treating so much. Isn't that a lovely feeling behind it? I've been treating so much, and God hasn't heard a word. No. Wow. Let go. Coming home, man. Stop clinching on. Life's not here to serve against you. Life is here for you. And you think, well, how many times can you say this, Patrick? Sunday after Sunday. As many times until I hear it. And it is there. It is there for us. I'm looking at each one of you as I always do, and I think to myself, it is so wonderful to watch us crave tribe, as I call it, crave community. And I think to myself, why do we so much? Because we started out that way. We wanted community out of one reason and one beautiful reason only: survival. We brought each other together because, boy, it's a little lonely out here, a little scary. Bring you into the tribe. And now we're at a place in our evolution, I'm here to announce it, here on live television. We're not here to survive anymore. We are here to thrive. That was the ultimate goal of that force that created everything. They're going to thrive like they've never thrived before. But in the meantime, we were going to do a little surviving. Surviving doesn't even I don't even warm up to it anymore. It's just such a, even the word, just survive. How you doing, man? How's everything going? Just hanging in there, surviving. Wow, just gives me the fuzzies, the warm fuzzies all over. We're thriving, people. I don't care what your bank account says, what any of it says. We're thriving today, right now. Do I hear it? Yes. Yes. And only you can say that yes to. I don't care what has happened. A lot of you have been through a lot of challenges lately. A lot of challenges. But you're not a survivor. You're a thriver. And you keep thriving, and I'm going to keep thriving. And I wake up some mornings, and I'm looking at things, and I'm looking at the growth, because we're in this other growth spurt. Like just when we were able to just go, then we grow again, right? And you're like, oh, righty, let's relax for just a minute. No, because Spirit, that creative force is saying, man, you think you're going to lay around with your surviving? Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are? We're going to thrive. So whatever you think you're at right now, thrive more, man. Thrive more. Wow. I love this when I feel this way. And I love looking in your eyes and thinking all the thoughts that you're thinking right now. Some are just, it's just a variety, a variety. But what I know about today is today can be the day. Today can be the moment. We don't have to wait all the way till we're 18, Everett. It can happen right day at age 10. It can happen today. It can happen today that we say, today's the day I remember who I am. Today's the day that I remember that no one's against me. Today's the day that I remember that no matter what, and I repeat this, no matter what is going on in this political world around us, it's a lie if we buy into the nonsense. I cannot have peace when I'm thinking the opposite. I cannot have love in my life, in my country, in my relationships, in anything, in our center, if I'm not thinking love. So if you want to bargain any other thing, you want to negotiate yeah, but there is that one time, and you all know it's been this week. It's been that one time I plugged into the internet, that one time I stepped off principle. We have a wonderful colleague that always says, excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm just going to step off principle. And I go, what are you going to do? I'm going to bitch right now. I'm going to tell you what isn't working, because if they would get their act together, boy, would my life be a lot better, right? If my wife did what she's supposed to, if the teachers, if the presidents, if the... no. We're a tribe, man. Tribe. And I don't use tribal that much, but we're a tribe. We've come together, not just the people in this room, but those people too that are not serving what we like. They're not serving what we like, but guess what? We still are on the same planet. And I said this, and I'll close with this. They said, the other day we were talking, and real positive, and they said, we're going to blow ourselves up. We're going to just destroy everything. Well, guess what? We're going to be the only losers in that particular game. Because guess what Spirit Creative Force says? Yes. And guess what also Spirit says this too? You are so full of love. You are so full of love, and you'll remember. And if I have to redo this planet 50 million times, I'll do it until you remember who you are. And I don't think we have to wait. I think today's the day that we said, no, we're not going to blow up the planet of our mind. We're going to grasp it today, and we're going to tell who we are, and we're going to dare to love when everything in our fiber is saying, I don't like you. I don't love you. We're going to turn within and say, I am love. I am love. And I will leave with Michelle's quote, which I think was absolutely beautiful. Leaving home, in a sense, involves a kind of second birth in which we give birth to ourselves. Today's the day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And this will be the one day we do not have cake. Happy birthday. I love you. Are you say, I am a thriver. I am a thriver. I am love. Oh, I love you. And so it is.
All right. I am a thriver. So this is our time of giving. And as Patrick said, our center is growing, it's expanding, and so we appreciate everything that comes in here and assists us in that growth. So thank you in advance for your giving. Thank you in advance for being here and for being part of this consciousness of thriving. So let's thrive, yes? And let's read the affirmation in the program. And it says, I draw my good to me as I travel along the way of life, and nothing can keep my good is always with me. I accept the good and rejoice that it is with me. I accept my good now.
Did it not?
Oh, well.
That's just called make up your own at the end. Doesn't matter, we're thrivers.
Just say, I accept my good now.
I accept my good now. Oh, you crazy kids.
I see you, you see me. We gather today to set our hearts free. We've come to shine, shine, shine. We've come to shine, 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 and live in gratitude. I've gotta breathe in this moment, breathe in this life, breathe in this moment, breathe in this life. I give thanks for life, for the air that I breathe, to live abundantly. Breathe in this moment, breathe in this life, breathe in this moment, breathe in this life. I give thanks for life, for the air that I breathe, to live abundantly. I've gotta stay true to myself and others. Gotta stay true to myself, because it's the only way. Breathe in this moment, breathe in this life, breathe in this moment, breathe in this life. I give thanks for life, for the air that I breathe, to live abundantly.
So what I know right here and right now is that we are breathing in and breathing out abundance, prosperity, that consciousness that is everything, that life force that moves through each and every one of us and says yes, 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 yes. So I am in such gratitude for everything that's in that basket, but I'm more in gratitude in this moment for everything that is in this room, and that all of the abundance of consciousness that has been shared today. So I say thank you for everything, everything. And I know that it comes back tenfold, 100-fold. There is no number on gratitude. So let us just say together with gratitude, and so it is.
Breathe in this moment, breathe in this life, breathe in this moment, breathe in this life. I give thanks for life, for the air that I breathe, to live abundantly.
All right.
I actually lied. I think there's bunt cake today, but
There is bunt cake in
there's
there
always
somewhere.
something.
There's always something.
Some little nosh thing.
Thanks,
But
little nosh.
right here, we forgot to let you know this is our building fund, right here, and
growing.
It's growing. I'm surprised Rita hasn't already told me. Let's count it. Let's count
I
it.
haven't counted it lately. I
Now
haven't
she
counted
will.
it.
And also we have our yes box, which is a box that we have out there that you just write down just a little something that is going on with you that you would like a little extra knowing. And then we also have these beautiful calendars by
That Sue Buckley
by
made.
Sue Buckley. Oh, there she is. Right. Oh,
That make
there you
great
are.
gifts.
And they have Ernest Holmes quotes, and it's just an absolute wonderful thing. They were all taken by her on this island, and they are going.
Thank you, Sue, because the proceeds are going to CSL Kauai, so that's a
Exactly.
really beautiful thing. Thank you.
Yes. And so today we're going to also just let the family know we're having our first committee coordinating meeting, which all that means is we're all going to be participating soon, but we're kind of forming some leaders so that we can see what we need to do to go on in 2017, all the things. So I'm very excited because it's our first creative team meeting, and we'll let you know next week what's going on in that world.
Yeah. Okay.
So shall we?
We're ready.
We're ready? Wow, the team is up here. Wow. Uh-oh.
Let's just get
Uh-oh, I think we should stand up and climb the mountain.
Let it sing on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it rain on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine, let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain,
My heart is full of gratitude for Harry and Jackie who are at the door today. Thank you for greeting everyone. Woo! Thank you, Michelle, for doing the announcements so gloriously and for your amazing treatment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Loya, for those flowers over there that just happened to come in. And I was not expecting them, but you know what? Spirit is unlimited, and Loya is that spirit. Thank you, Loya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to thank Rob and Jonathan back there on live stream who helped us bring this message to the global community and keep us all connected. Thank you to Roseanne for doing the programs, and Roseanne and Katie who are ushers today also. And I would like to thank Ron Stover, the glorious Ron Stover, who keeps us well-fed, well-watered, and well-filled with coffee. Thank you, Ron. And Analia, who usually is there helping him. Thank you, Analia. And thank you, Reverend Diane, for being in the bookstore and for selling all those amazing books and helping us to learn more about this great teaching. And thank you, mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. And mahalo to Michael and the Terry and the band. Woo! For bringing us such glorious, glorious music every week. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And I know, what I know about today is that what we gathered here today and what we gleaned from today in our own individual way, that we are taking it out into our world and making this world a better place every day. Every day we are lifting consciousness higher and higher. It can't help but happen. So I just let it be so with love, as I say, and so it is.
Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Honor your heart, make a brand new start, see the world with clearer eyes. Go to the dance, the rise, remove the disguise. It's my life, it's my life, it's my life.